The Sword of Constantine. The Sword of Constantine, a legendary weapon associated with Emperor Constantine, one the Great who ruled between 272 and 337 AD, played a significant role in the Roman Empire's transformation to Christianity. Estimated to be 90 centimeters long with a high-quality steel blade that is sharp on both sides, the sword has a gold and jeweled hilt reflecting the royal status of its owner. The weight of the sword is estimated to be between 1 to 1.5 kilograms, as per the standard of Roman battle swords of the time. Its specialty is closely linked to the Battle of Milvius Bridge on October 28, 312 AD, where, according to historian Eusebius, Constantine saw an apparition of a cross with the inscription "In hoc signo vinces" before the battle. The victory in this battle established Constantine as the sole emperor of the Western Roman Empire and began the Christian era in Roman history, marked by the publication of the Edict of Milano in 313 AD, which granted religious freedom in the empire. Although its physical existence is disputed, the influence of the Sword of Constantine in history is undeniable. It is often represented in Renaissance art, such as in Raphael's 1520 painting Vision of the Cross in the Vatican. In Eastern Orthodox tradition, replicas of the sword are sometimes used in coronation ceremonies, while in Russia, a sword claimed to be Constantine's is kept in the Kremlin armory, though its authenticity is doubted by many historians. Despite the controversy surrounding its physical existence, the Sword of Constantine remains an important symbol in the history of Christianity in the Roman Empire, representing a blend of political and spiritual power that changed the course of Western civilization. The Sword of Zulfiqar. The Sword of Zulfiqar, also known as Zulfiqar, is a legendary weapon in Islamic history that is closely associated with the Prophet Muhammad and Ali bin Abi Talib. The sword has a unique shape with a bifurcated blade tip, resembling a fishtail or the letter Y. Its length is estimated to be around 1.2 meters, with the blade made of high-quality Damascus steel. The hilt is decorated with carved Arabic calligraphy and sometimes decorated with gemstones. The history of the Zulfiqar dates back to the Battle of Badr in 624 AD, where the Prophet Muhammad received it as Ghanima, the spoils of war. Later, this sword was given to Ali bin Abi Talib. Ali used Zulfiqar in many important battles, including the Battle of Uhud in 625 AD, and the Battle of Khandak in 627 AD. Zulfiqar's specialty lies not only in its unique shape, but also in the spiritual powers believed to accompany it. In Shia tradition, Zulfiqar is considered to have supernatural powers and is a symbol of justice and courage. A popular hadith states, "There is no sword but Zulfiqar, and no brave youth but Ali." Although Zulfiqar's physical existence today cannot be ascertained, its influence in Islamic culture is extensive. The sword is often depicted in Islamic art, including calligraphy, paintings, and architectural decorations. In some Muslim countries, replicas of the Zulfiqar are used in religious ceremonies and military parades as a symbol of strength and justice. The Zulfiqar also has significance in Islamic military history. The design of this two-pronged sword inspired the manufacture of various weapons in the Islamic world, from Andalusia to India. In the Persian and Ottoman traditions, Zulfiqar-style swords were often used by military leaders as a symbol of power and spiritual legitimacy. The Trident of Shiva. The Trident of Shiva, an iconic weapon closely associated with the Hindu god Shiva, has a rich history and symbolism in the Hindu tradition. The trident, which means three-edged spear in Sanskrit, consists of a long stick with three sharp edges on it. The overall length of a trident is usually around 1.5 to 2 meters, with the sharp parts being 30 to 40 centimeters long. The material is generally made of metals such as iron or copper, often decorated with intricate carvings and sometimes plated with gold or silver. In Hindu mythology, the trident was created by Viswakarma, the architect of the gods, at the behest of Brahma. This weapon was given to Shiva to maintain the balance of the cosmos. Each end of the trident has a symbolic meaning: creation, preservation, and destruction, the three main aspects in the cycle of the universe according to Hindu beliefs. The trident is believed to have spiritual powers that can destroy ignorance and bring enlightenment. In Hindu iconography, Shiva is often depicted holding it, symbolizing his rule over the three worlds, heaven, earth, and the underworld. The trident is also believed to have the ability to neutralize negative energy and protect the wielder from harm. Philosophically, the three ends of the trident also represent the three gunas, traits in Hindu philosophy: Sattva, meaning righteousness; Rajas, meaning lust; and Tamas, meaning darkness. This reflects Shiva's role in balancing the various aspects of life in the universe. The Sword of David. The Sword of David, also known as the Sword of King David, is a legendary weapon closely associated with King David, an important figure in Jewish, Christian, and Islamic traditions. Although its physical description is not described in detail in sacred texts, it has deep historical and symbolic significance. In biblical tradition, David's sword is first mentioned in the context of his battle against Goliath. After defeating Goliath with a sling, David took the giant's sword to cut off his head. This sword later became a symbol of David's strength and courage. Physically, David's sword probably had the characteristics of an ancient Middle Eastern sword, with a length of about 70 to 90 centimeters and a weight of about 1 to 1.5 kilograms. The blade was probably made of bronze or early iron, given its historical period around the 10th century BC. The hilt may be decorated with ancient Jewish carvings and symbols. This sword has the symbolic distinction of symbolizing the power and legitimacy of the kingdom of Israel. In Jewish tradition, the Sword of David is regarded as one of the sacred artifacts marking the kingdom that God blessed. Some sources mention that this sword was kept in the Jerusalem temple as a sacred object. In rabbinic literature and Jewish legends, the Sword of David is sometimes associated with supernatural powers. There's a belief that it has the ability to protect its wielder and grant victory in battle. Some traditions even link the sword to messianic prophecy. The Manjushri Sword of Wisdom. The Manjushri Sword of Wisdom, a sacred weapon in the Mahayana and Vajrayana Buddhist traditions, is closely associated with the Bodhisattva Manjushri, a figure of transcendental wisdom and knowledge. Depicted as a flaming sword about 1 meter long, this weapon symbolizes the power to cut through ignorance and illusion. The hilt is often adorned with jewels and engravings of Buddhist symbols. Buddhist mythology states that this sword was created from the quintessence of supreme wisdom used by Manjushri to free sentient beings from suffering. Its specialty lies in the ability to separate truth from illusion and wisdom from ignorance. It has important symbolic functions, cutting through negative karma, opening the door to enlightenment, purifying the mind, and sharpening spiritual intuition. In meditation practices, its visualization is used to develop wisdom and deep insight. Its influence is widely seen in Buddhist art, where Manjushri is almost always depicted holding a sword in the right hand and the Prajnaparamita scripture in the left, symbolizing the unity of active and passive wisdom. Despite its mythological nature, the concept of the Sword of Wisdom continues to influence Buddhist philosophy and practice, becoming an important symbol in the pursuit of enlightenment and spiritual liberation, attesting to the enduring power of this symbolism in the Buddhist tradition. The Kusanagi Sword. The Kusanagi Sword, also known as Kusanagi no Tsurugi or Ame no Murakumo no Tsurugi, is one of the 3 sacred heirlooms of Imperial Japan. Legend has it that the sword was found by the storm god Susanoo in the tail of the giant snake Yamata no Orochi after defeating him. The sword is estimated to be about 84 centimeters long, with a curved blade typical of Japanese katanas, but the exact description varies in various myths. Physically, the Kusanagi is described as a double-edged sword made of a mysterious metal with the ability to split the wind, control the weather, and cut grass, which is the literal meaning of Kusanagi. The hilt is decorated with silk and magatama, a sacred gemstone in the Shinto tradition. Its main specialty is the supernatural power to control wind and water, as well as the ability to grant the wielder victory in battle. In Japanese history, the Kusanagi became a symbol of the legitimization of imperial power. It is believed to have been given to the imperial family by Amaterasu, the sun goddess. This sword, along with the Yata no Kagami mirror and the Yasakani no Magatama jewel, formed 3 sacred heirlooms that symbolized the wisdom, courage, and virtue of a ruler. Although its physical existence has never been shown to the public, the Kusanagi is believed to be kept at Atsuta Shrine in Nagoya. This sword plays an important role in the coronation ceremony of the Emperor of Japan. Its influence in Japanese culture is extensive, appearing in various works of literature, art, and popular media such as anime and video games. The legend of the Kusanagi lives on in the imagination of the Japanese people, symbolizing the country's spiritual power and cultural heritage. Its mysterious existence and legendary supernatural powers mean that the Kusanagi sword remains an object of fascination and veneration in Japanese tradition to this day. Kirpan. Kirpan is a sacred weapon in the Sikh tradition that has deep religious and cultural significance. Physically, the kirpan takes the form of a dagger or short sword varying in length from 8 to 90 centimeters, depending on local tradition and personal preference. The blade is slightly curved and usually made of steel, while the hilt is often decorated with carvings of Sikh symbols. The history of the Kirpan dates back to the 17th century when Guru Gobind Singh, the 10th Sikh Guru, introduced it as one of the 5 articles of faith or 5 Ks that Sikh Khalsa must wear. The 5 Ks are Kesh, uncut hair, Kangha, comb, Kara, steel bracelet, Kachera, special underwear, and Kirpan. Kirpan has spiritual significance. It symbolizes strength, the duty to protect the weak, and a commitment to truth and justice. The Kirpan is also not just a weapon, but a symbol of a Sikh's dignity and responsibility. In Sikh tradition, the Kirpan should always be worn and should never be used to harm others, except as a last resort to defend oneself or protect others. The influence of the Kirpan in Sikh life is immense. It has become an integral part of Sikh identity and a symbol of their commitment to the teachings of their religion. However, the use of Kirpan has also posed legal challenges in some countries, especially regarding public safety. Many countries have made specific legal exceptions that allow Sikhs to wear the Kirpan as an expression of religious freedom. The Mithra Dagger. The Mithra Dagger, also known as the Axanasas or Persian short sword, is a sacred weapon closely associated with the god Mithra in the ancient religious traditions of Persia and later in the Roman cult of Mithraism. The weapon has deep historical, religious, and cultural significance. Physically, the Mithra dagger is generally a short sword or dagger about 40 to 50 centimeters long. The blade is straight and double-edged, made of high-quality iron or bronze. The hilt is often decorated with intricate carvings, sometimes featuring Mithra-related symbols such as the sun, bull, or lion. The scabbard is also usually decorated with religious motifs. In Persian mythology, the Mithra dagger is thought to be the weapon used by Mithra to kill the primordial bull, an act of creation that symbolizes the victory of light over darkness and life over death. This bull sacrifice ritual became central in the practice of Mithraism, in which the dagger of Mithra played an important role. The specialty of the dagger of Mithra lies in its spiritual power. It is believed to be able to bring good luck, protect against evil, and grant power to the wielder. In Mithraism rituals, this weapon is used as a symbol of initiation and spiritual transformation. The influence of the Mithra dagger is visible in art and archaeology. Many reliefs and statues of Mithra depict her holding a dagger while killing a bull. Artifacts in the form of daggers found at Mithraeum, Temple of Mithra sites, provide physical evidence of the importance of this weapon in rituals. Although the cult of Mithra has long faded, the legacy of the Mithra dagger lives on in historical and archaeological studies. This weapon provides important evidence of the complexity of ancient beliefs and the relationship between religion, symbols, and power in the ancient world. Mjolnir, the legendary hammer of Thor in Norse mythology, is a sacred weapon of immense power and deep significance in ancient Scandinavian beliefs. Known as the Destroyer, Mjolnir is a symbol of strength, protection, and fertility. Physically, Mjolnir is described as a war hammer with a short handle, about 40 to 50 centimeters in overall length. Its head is made of meteoric iron forged by the master dwarves Brok and Eitri. It weighs so much, it is said, that only Thor, with his godly powers and his magic glove Jarngreipr, can lift it. In Norse mythology, Mjolnir was created as the result of a bet between Loki and the dwarves. Its specialty lies in its ability to always hit its target and return to Thor's hand, as well as the power to control lightning and thunder. Thor uses Mjolnir to protect Asgard and Midgard from the threat of frost giants and the forces of chaos. Mjolnir has several important functions in Norse beliefs, including as a weapon to fight the enemies of the gods, a tool to purify and bless, a symbol of protection, and a rainbringer for soil fertility. Mjolnir's influence in Norse culture is extensive. Miniature replicas of Mjolnir are often used as protective amulets, worn as necklaces by followers of Thor. In Viking art, Mjolnir symbols are found on runestones, jewelry, and other artifacts. Although ancient Norse beliefs are minimal in number, Mjolnir's popularity has persisted into the modern era. Today, Mjolnir is an important symbol in the Norse faith revival movement, Asatru, and continues to appear in popular culture through comics, movies, and fantasy literature, maintaining its appeal as an icon of strength and heroism. The Roman Gladius. The Roman Gladius is a short sword that became the standard weapon of the infantry of the ancient Roman Empire. This weapon has great significance in military history and was one of the key factors in the successful expansion of the Roman Empire. Physically, the Gladius has a total length of about 60 to 85 centimeters, with a blade 45 to 68 centimeters long and 5 to 7 centimeters wide. Its weight ranged from 1.2 to 1.6 kilograms. The blade is made of high-quality steel with a pointed end for piercing and a sharp side for slashing. The gladius was first adopted by the Roman army in the 3rd century BC, inspired by the Celtiberian short sword design. The most famous gladius type is the Gladius Hispaniensis, or Spanish gladius, which later evolved into the Mainz and Pompeii types. The specialty of the gladius lies in its design, which is effective for close combat. Its relatively short size allowed for quick maneuvering in the tight formations of Roman legions. Its pointed tip was effective for stabbing, while its sharp sides could be used for slashing. Archaeological evidence of the gladius was found at various ancient Roman sites across Europe. For example, discoveries at Vindolanda near Hadrian's Wall in Britain, and at sites along the Limes Germanicus. The influence of gladius in Roman military tactics was immense. The combination of the gladius with the scutum, large shield, allowed Roman legions to adopt the famous testudo formation, where soldiers could move forward while protected by their shields. The gladius continued to be used until the 3rd century AD before being replaced by the spatha, a longer sword. However, the legacy of its design influenced the development of swords in Europe for centuries afterward.